serious.
Welcome to The Basement.
Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome to The Basement. I'm your host, Jose, and today we got a returning guest. This is your third time, right?
Yeah, third time.
This is your third time.
I'm trying to get that title.
Right now, you're holding it down.
I'm trying to get that
holding
title.
That everyone's favorite. Back with us again, we got Cousin Eddie. Do we want to do Cousin Eddie or just Eddie?
You could do Cousin Eddie.
You seem like the Cousin Eddie everybody has.
Yeah.
You got that one Cousin Eddie, right?
One Cousin Eddie.
Just
Noel's
children.
kids, they call me Mr. Eddie.
Mr. Eddie.
I don't know where that came from.
That's dope. You're like a Mr.
I
Rogers.
was like, Mr. Eddie. I
The,
was like, okay.
The Spanish
I'm
version.
going to stick with it, too, for the rest of my life.
Let it rock. Why not?
Straight up.
Why not? Why not?
Mr.
We get to that age, it's like, yeah.
Right? Like, I remember when, I want to say like 2 years ago, I was in with my daughter in a school trip, and the kid said, "Wow, Mr. Rosario, can I get something?" I just look, and I work with youth, right? I work
Right.
with in the youth in ministry and everything like that,
Right.
in church ministry. So they be like, "Hey, Eddie, what's up?" So I feel like I'm down with this culture and everything like that. Like I'm down there. Not anymore. After that, Mr. Eddie or
It's
Mr.
over.
Rosario is done. Done.
You're like the OG.
Yeah, nah, man. I'm okay with where I'm at right now.
That's what I was. I don't know who I was. I think a few people have had this conversation. And that brings us to the topic actually. So I want to jump into right into the topic because I had put up a poll, and in putting up the poll, I had basically put up a poll that had to do with 13 Reasons Why, because I was like binge watching it. I was like, I've turned on Netflix. It's been months since I've turned on Netflix, so I'm like, let's finish this drama show, right? And bro, halfway through it, I was like, I gotta put up a poll.
It's crazy.
And then you answered in the poll. You voted rather. You weighed in on the poll, and so did, because we have a lot of fans. So did 5 other people. And so far 6 people who've voted in this thing. And it was interesting because as I saw, it was split down the middle. It was 3 and 3. So far it's 3 and 3. And the funny thing about it is that when I looked at who voted, they had one thing in common. That those that were like, so the question was, should this series be shown or taught or addressed in our high schools? Yes or no? And basically, what I've noticed was that those who were saying yes, you included, right, were older, and those who were saying no were the younger generation. And my thing was, that's probably because that's what they're being taught, you know. We're not allowed to talk about this issue. Don't talk about the issue. God forbid we have a conversation.
Yeah.
About
But
this
you
issue.
would think that in this generation now, it is a topic of discussion. It is something that people want to discuss. Because in our generation, it was just like, I brush it under the rug type stuff. You know, like this generation now is with the state, quote unquote, staying woke and being with all this information detailed to you, you would think that they will want to discuss it. You know, and why I think it should be discussed in schools, and not only in schools. I think it should be discussed in schools and in church groups, youth groups. You know. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a poll that TD Jakes was at 1 out of every 5 girls in church or in general were girl and guy, I think it was sexually assaulted somehow. And there was a video of him going 1, 2, 3, 4, you, 1, 2, 3, and that
For males?
for males and females.
Oh, general between
General,
in
yeah.
between,
I want to
because
say it's general. I could
somebody
be wrong.
was
I know it was TD Jakes. I know it was TD Jakes that said that. And
there was an actor this morning. He's I don't know his name, but he was a football star, actor, comedian, bald black guy, hilarious.
Terry Crews.
He was. I don't know if you saw that
Yes,
that clip, and he
that.
was saying that 1 out of every 9 men have been sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
He was telling his story.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back, because I'm like, okay. Let's go back to this poll. So you're with, and I wish I had someone who was on the fence or on the other side of this argument that believed that this is incorrect, that we shouldn't, address this issue or use this as a tool to address the issues at hand in high schools, especially.
Well,
what their argument is. What's their side?
We should. Well, I think after this podcast, whoever is
listening,
I will
definitely
debate with anyone straight up about this. I will throw down with you.
We're not here to attack you, though.
No, I'm going to attack that person. Whoever sits in front of me and says that we should just brush this under the rug is the problem.
Oh, did you see some of the other individuals that voted? You know them. We know.
I can't see. It was a private thing. I can't.
Oh,
see.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's how noob I am.
I can't see that.
Wow. I thought that was. I thought that was for everybody's information. That's basically the yeses, shouting people out.
Okay.
Shouting people out. If you don't want to be your information out there, don't
names.
vote.
Okay.
You know this one, and you know this one.
Come on, man.
See the similarity?
Come on, man.
You see the similarity?
Come on, man.
You see that they have something in common? Age.
No.
They're
That's
young.
just immaturity to me.
Okay. Let's pause right there. So I got it, because I don't have someone who's on the no, we shouldn't use this as a tool. I gotta play that guy, or at least if you're a person who's enlightened, in my opinion, you're someone who's willing to have a decent discussion, to discuss the discussion, and regardless of where that other person stands. I was watching they did a series right after season 2. I don't know if you saw that. They actually interviewed the characters and went into the whole storyline. And
they did that after season 1 too.
I don't remember that, but so I saw
a series.
Like a recap of it, and I saw that, and someone phrased that. What I'm trying to say more accurately, nicely, is like, listen, if you're not willing to sit down and talk about the situation, there's no conversation. Like, bye. We're not talking. So, okay. Keeping that in mind, I had to go in and say, what are good reasons why this would not be appropriate? So obviously there's sexual contact, like nudity and stuff that's inappropriate, that you could blurb out.
But okay, before you say that, right?
Right.
It's a graphic novel. It's a book. This is a young adult top seller. Time Magazine's top.
Okay,
seller.
so that's a good argument. What about parents? Parents are not going to agree with you addressing this in the schools. I have an argument, like a real, like straight up one, but I want to hear your thoughts.
My argument is that if our kids are looking at this and already being interested, like, let's be honest, the book is a bestseller, millions of copies sold worldwide, even before the series came out, and before we get into it, only season 1 was based on the book. There's no book on season 2. Season 2 is straight up writing and everything like that. So like that's.
Are they gonna make a
what,
like
a book? No, it was no. It was the thing is not. There was no need for the main character, Hannah Baker, who made these tapes because she was bullied and sexually assaulted, and no one listened to her. Killed herself and gave you 13 reasons why. For 13 different reasons, 13 different people.
That's right. So okay, so we didn't do. I didn't do. I'm sorry. This is the first time without Noel, so I didn't do the whole spoiler alert disclaimer. You know, if you haven't seen season 1, that was a spoiler for that, and a little bit for season 2.
Well, it broke records for season 1, Netflix streaming records, right? Season 2 didn't break any streaming records.
I guess because that whole controversy of suicide, but then I feel like it came back with this recent chef. I'm horrible with names. If you haven't figured that out yet in the basement, I'm that guy. I need Google in my life. But the chef that committed suicide, right?
The chef, not the chef. Is it the chef
I thought it was a chef.
in real life? You're talking about? Or
Yeah,
the show?
there was Jordan. Jordan?
The chef? Is it that the guy that?
Who's the individual that recently committed suicide?
Well, there was 2. Kate Spade,
Right? That was a female.
the female. It was like this.
She was a designer or something.
Yeah, a very popular designer.
Okay, so go ahead. And then there was a who?
There was the Anthony Bourdain.
Yes, him. I thought it was a chef.
No, he was like a big the outer. Isn't he from the Outer Limits or something like that? This is the Outer
we are
Limits.
ruining this guy's career, his memory.
No, he was. That's messed up. That's messed up.
This is why no one's gonna sign up to this show. Okay, so I would think that this issue of suicide would come back into the limelight, if you will, but it didn't. I also feel like season 2 addressed another hot topic.
Well, let's talk about season 1 and what
ahead.
it was, right? So season 1 again was Hannah Baker, who was sexually assaulted and bullied into into people thinking that she was more than what she really is.
Oh, she was like she had moved into this new community where she had problems prior.
Yes.
So obviously that tells me then and there that the parents had, and maybe they didn't portray it as well, but the parents had dealt with a similar situation or similar situations where it developed a dialogue between them and their child. But in season 2, that doesn't really happen, right? Mm-hmm. When you hear her testimony, when she gets, so this person came to this new environment looking for a fresh start, trying to fit in, figure out who she is,
but couldn't find her place the right way. She found these 2 friends. She had 2 friends, that she confided in the whole time. Was a guy and a girl. I forget their names in the show, but they ended up liking each other. The guy and the girl, which when a relationship happens, the third person is left out in certain things. So that happens. There was a guy, part of the baseball team that she started dating.
Okay.
In the show that she went on a date with, that she thought was really cute. His name is Justin. There was Justin.
It's just
Who got it?
yeah. So so when I didn't do the recap. I should have done the recap in the beginning of the season because I was like, who are these people? I don't remember their names.
Like I did not touch the first season before watching the second. I didn't watch the second season till about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I just finished it last night.
I just because of the strong like.
Do you think
killing.
1 was better than 2?
Yeah. Most definitely.
1 was. I didn't
like season 2 that much because I felt like they demeaned her as a person. Like they made her seem like, well, she like doing all these other things. But let's finish talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean that could go into a whole other conversation where we're just asking the question is, according to the poll, what sparked this conversation, what sparked it was a poll that I put up. Again, is this a tool that should be used? And we both agree that it is. I think we could sit here and argue exactly. I mean, and agree on exactly why.
It's again, if it's not only for school, I think youth groups should discuss it. Why? Because I think it's a real. Listen, rape and
Real.
being sexually assaulted
Real.
is a real thing.
Every day.
You know, like it's a bad, like it's a thing that you will never know someone been through.
Yeah.
Or been, and suicide is a real problem in our society with young people now. And I think that if we don't discuss it as adults to our children who are being affected by these things, by seeing it every day right now, seeing it every day, that right now is mainstream news. Why? Because mainstream people are doing it. Kate Spade, Chester from Lincoln Park a couple of years ago.
That's right. Wow.
That
was recent.
Robin Williams,
Big
who
time.
was in our eyes, our generation, was a kid, like a kid comedian star, where he seemed to be always happy.
So
and
I'm gonna
out front.
go. I'm not sorry to cut you off, but I want to go into why you think, in a second, why you think it's effective to use this. I think it's obvious, but I also want to try to play the other side in that the parents saying, I don't want that, being taught or addressed in the schools for education. And my argument to that parent is, so when something tragic like this happens again, then you're responsible.
Because your kid because you're not
Addressing the issue.
You're not addressing the issue.
So you're responsible. So instead of it being the school that goes to trial, you go to trial. You're the parent. It was your responsibility. So what do you think of that?
So again, I could get where, as a parent, you don't want those books read and everything. So when I was in high school, I hated reading books. I hated. Everybody.
I still hate it.
I hated reading books. And the first book I ever read fully in high school was The Coldest Winter Ever.
Okay.
And it was basically a graphic novel about a drug dealer and his pimp. And it was a pimp, a drug, and a girl trying to survive the drug dealer. After that, and after my teacher gave me that book, he's like, "You'll like this book," and I read it in one weekend. The next book that she gave me was like True to the Game. The same thing, a drug dealer surviving Harlem, and I read it.
Was she trying to say, this is gonna be your life if you keep it up?
I was a quiet kid in high school. I just
That's probably why. Like this one is it's a quiet ones you gotta look out for.
She figured that those were. She saw how fast I read that book, and she gave me, and she stuck to it. So those books are available to our kids out in the open. They're in bookstores. They're when you walk into Barnes and Noble, it's right there.
Okay.
It's right there, in young adult novels, best selling. So as a kid as teenagers at 12, 13, 14 years old, they go into Barnes and Noble by themselves.
Yeah.
You see this book, 13 Reasons Why. You read it. You're gonna be intrigued by it.
Right. I thought that season 2 was more. I think it's season 2 that gives more of the lesson.
So yeah, so season 1, you see the effect that it had. You see the cause. This is what happened. This is why it happened.
Just the shocking,
everything.
The thickness, in your face.
And let's be honest. The only reason why people thought. Now you gotta look at the characters, the actors that were in this movie, in this show, the first season. The one, the main character is Clay, right?
Clay is the main character.
He is. If I'm not mistaken, he was a former Disney star or something like that. He was in.
That's
something
not
like
surprising
that.
for some reason.
But the thing is, one of the executive producers was Selena Gomez.
I saw that.
Like as a kid, you're like, yo, Selena Gomez did this show. I gotta watch this one day. Selena Gomez. You know, it's a big thing. You know? And if you didn't read the book, which a lot of people have it before they saw the show, you have no idea what was happening until you read the book or until you finished the season, because Netflix puts out all 13 episodes in one, so you didn't know.
Yeah, it was just
you
like,
didn't know what was happening until the last season, which was a very graphic. Both the whole season in season one for me was very graphic. We're seeing the rape, seeing the these teenagers go through what they have, right? The abuse, the sexual abuse, the women. You know,
so it's in the ether, the idea of these things occurring in campuses.
So what you saw in season 2 was the effect it had on everyone involved, from whether you were the rapist, the effect that it had on his life, the effect that it had on some people that didn't do anything,
the community,
and then you saw the community. Well, that's her fault. She's stupid for doing that. So we're just going to leave her out of it. Like, let's forget what happened. That was just an isolated issue.
Right.
That's because she was stupid. The parents were uninvolved. The parents didn't care. The parents were I don't want to, but we're going to do spoilers. Whatever. Yeah. The father, in season 2, they show that the parents didn't care because in the middle of the daughter going through craziness, the father was in the middle of an affair. So people from the outside are throwing all these different reasons why she did it, besides the fact that she was sexually assaulted by a guy that was a serial rapist. No one will ever she wasn't the only person. She wasn't, but she was. But because of her, because of her story and other people that were saying that supposedly she slept with or messed around with,
right,
her story became diluted.
Yeah, because there was so many other stories and characters involved.
Yeah, it wasn't just her.
So in a way, yeah, and yeah, you're right in that, the cause and effect analogy is perfect. Mm-hmm. The lessons are taught in season 2, one of which is my favorite, was this idea of the scene. I don't know exactly where it was. I'm trying to see if there would be a clip on it. But there's a part in the scene where it says, I think he's going to send the videos out, and you didn't ask me what I wanted to do. And he turns around and says, you don't have a say anymore. Yeah. It was
the tapes. It was the tapes.
Yeah, he was uploading them.
Yeah, so I think that was episode, I want to say 6 or 7.
Of season 2?
Of season 2. And he's discussing with Hannah Baker. Now in season 2, she shows up as a conscience to him and everything, trying, you know. And so he has these tapes and he wants to release it because on the internet, everyone's is blasting her, saying, look, she was sleeping with this guy, she was doing this side, she had this relationship with this person and everything like that. And her story and obviously the trial became more about what the parents didn't do instead of saying the story of why we here. Right. Like the parents were suing the school because she went to the guidance counselor and said that something happened to her. I want to say she was raped. I think he told the counselor, and that she was thinking about doing something crazy, like killing herself.
Well, it was that she didn't actually say it. In the guidelines, the argument was that I went to what was according to the guidelines, and I don't know if it was him, the counselor, that said himself, maybe the guidelines need to be updated, changed. Yeah. The trial was about the school neglecting the cry for help. Yes. So that's an interesting thing. And I was, like I said, I woke up at 3 a.m, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, I got 3 episodes to go in. I'm going to go in. Going in. I did it. To the very least, it should be a requirement that all the teachers see it. like our educators in the real world today.
I think our educators should be more equipped to understanding
because
certain children, certain
look, the reality is that these kids are in the hands of individuals, like they say in the courtroom. Don't know, remember who said it, but we entrust the lives and the well-being, the safety, both physically, but also mentally, emotionally, right? If we place that and entrust it into these hands, to the very least, and I'm shocking that it went where it went. It's shocking because I would say the teachers are the first line of defense. They're interacting with the kids on a daily basis.
So now the thing is, it goes like in defense of the teachers. I'm gonna play that card.
Right.
They're not equipped fully to know, right? And two, they see more than 300, 400 kids a week.
Okay, but that's my argument. That proves my argument. They're not trained. Mm-hmm. This is a method of training, with professionals that can go in and say, I could hear, because I have family members who are teachers, educators, and they're like, we do enough already. I already heard that argument when it came to the whole arming teachers in schools. And I'm, but the fact of the matter is, in high school, they run across a lot of children. They're still the closest thing, the teachers and the parents, to identify markers that there's a problem.
I think that if it's not the teachers, I think more schools should have counselors. Obviously a kid that is going through issues, whether it be suicide, drugs, want to shoot up a school. I believe fully, and I could be wrong, and that's fine. I believe fully that there are steps that a person goes through, or stages, I should say, that a person goes through where what circumstances are happening, in a sense, in their lives, like what affected them. Like now, season 2, the boy that was about to shoot up the school.
Oh God, you're going right to the ending, and there's something in the ending that I wanted to look up as well. But real quick, in the court trial, do you think she should have won?
No.
The mom?
No.
You don't think the school had fault?
I think the school did have a fault, but suing the school is because in season 1, if you watch season 1, you blame the school. You blame the students and everything like that. But then you see season 2 and you see the stories, you see everyone affected by it. She had a summer fling with this guy, the big Asian guy, the catcher from the baseball team. She had a summer fling. So there were things there were a lot more issues in that relationship, in her life, other than the mainly that, obviously. But I'm losing my train of thought because you put on this.
My bad, because I want to actually, I'm thinking maybe we see the ending, that particular scene that you wanted to jump into, because I could have sworn it's also a little controversial. What's the guy's name? The main guy? Chad?
No, Clay.
Clay. What Clay did is pretty controversial, and it comes up in the recap of the season. But go ahead. What were you saying before? Because you were saying because while I was moving.
Oh yeah. So basically, damn, I lost it.
It's gone.
It's gone that way over there. Hello. But in the sense, again, okay, I get it. I remember now. I don't think the school should have been blamed for it. I think it was a large number of people that were the straight up cause of this that affected her in a hard way.
Okay.
It wasn't only the school. Obviously, she went to the counselor, seeking help, and the counselor turned her away. Right. That was the.
But hold on, because the counselor admitted, I could have done more.
I think everyone could have done more in that, I think he was directly affected by it because he was the last person she asked that she asked for help
Before she went in.
And did it. He was the last person to do it.
That's just...
So like as a teacher, like, do you blame the teacher for a kid shooting up a school? Do you blame the school for a kid going into a school and shooting up the school? You don't blame the kid. Has like I get that parents wanted to seek justice, right? The parents sought justice out a different way, like the wrong way in the show. In my eyes, I think that there were obviously you see it throughout this.
Well, they could have settled, so it wasn't about money.
But settled how? There was no settlement on the table.
In the beginning of it, they refused the offer and they're moving forward. That's what Clay's mom says.
The father, no, that's Clay. The father, Hannah Baker's father, did not want anything to do with it.
No, I know, so they were initially suing, and what always happens is that the other side says, "We'll settle. We'll give you this amount."
But she wants the story out.
Right. She wants the story out.
Yeah.
So...
Well, the parents sued initially because they had the proof in the tapes. They had the tapes. They had the tapes. The court said no to the tapes because they said there was.
You can't take evidence from someone. You can't take a testimony from someone who isn't alive.
Yeah.
Right. So the tapes served weight in the negotiation process of settling, but she was about telling the story, and her goal was to make awareness that there's neglect and these schools need to address and protect our children, which to me was dope, worthy. But what happened is in season 2, like you mentioned, you got into the cause and how
that
gravely
it was much
it
bigger than
affects.
Hannah Baker because now in season 2 it's a
you had a potential suicide by Alex.
Yeah.
You had this conflicting fear tactic that develops with Justin's what's the rapist's name? My God. you have his new girlfriend that's crapping herself, right?
Bryce.
Yeah, Justin Bryce. You have his new girlfriend that's intimidated, right? Doesn't know what to do.
Well, she wasn't. But the thing is, it wasn't fear because she, again, like if you saw that relationship with him, with Bryce and his girlfriend in the show, their sexual like she thought it was just like a rough type thing. Like he likes it rough. He likes it like so.
Oh, it was the nature.
Yeah. So in her head is like, well, that's how he's doing me.
No, I don't see it that way because when he was asking her, you do believe me, right? What I got from that was
she could because okay, so
good.
I keep on cutting you off. No, because this is a dope conversation. So the thing is with that is for me is you see there's a sex scene with them, there's a sex scene with them where he's like pushing up on her, trying to get it, blah blah blah, and and he's very aggressive with it, and she's okay with it in a sense, like. And he asks right before sex happens, he asks like, "Hey, you want to do it, right?" And she goes, "Yeah," and then they do it.
Okay, so I'm talking about the scene where he's trying to get confirmation that she believes him, that he's innocent. This is towards the end. Okay, that you believe me, right? I need you to say it.
Yeah.
Say you love me.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah.
She's
At
done.
that point, she's done because now a lot of noise is Now she's done because after that sex scene that they had and everything that you saw, that was towards the beginning of the season. Now you had a full season of, and her hearing the noises of, this is what my boyfriend does. This is how we had this is, all these things, which is direct effect, like the same way that she has. So now she's in a conflict where it's like, wait a minute, he does the same thing to me. He did the same thing to me. He does the same thing to me.
Correct.
Correct. So now it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is not just something that
just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is something that he does all the time. So at that point, she is conflicted. And it's like, you know what?
But it's not only that she's conflicted, but it's also that he's reasserting himself as the dominant control, the person who's in control.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like she's done. And when she says she's pregnant, she tells
Jessica. She tells Jessica.
She's pregnant.
I don't know what to do. I'm pregnant.
I don't know what to do. To me, they could continue on and make a season 3.
They are.
Really?
Yeah,
because they brought up that issue now. What's the story? What happens to the girlfriend with the pregnant child? Does she get rid of it?
Which again, with now in my eyes, is like there's so you could have done like you could have just left season 1 alone, right? But the way it ended, I love that the fact that they came up with season 2, the way it ended and everything. Now the way season 2 ended, I don't know where you're gonna go with it. There's no what tragedy you're gonna base your season 3 on an almost tragedy, and we'll talk about the tragedy later on. In a few minutes.
Right. In a few.
But like,
we haven't even got to that part. Yeah.
Exactly. But like, it was. But what are you gonna do in season 3 now? And audience viewership was nobody. There was no discussion of season 2 as much as season 1 is. In my eyes, in my opinion, the reason why season 2 wasn't a big popular thing is because when season 1 came out, it was the height of the Me Too. So like the rape culture, like, yo, this is real, this happens, blah blah.
Me too.
There was a big thing.
Yo, first of all, let me just intervene real quick and give a shout out to Netflix, who 100% do not support my show, in any shape, way, or form.
They should.
They should. How many times?
How many topics have you talked on Netflix? Like show recaps, I should say. Show recaps.
I lost count. How many times have we mentioned Netflix and done show recaps? Yeah, it's like at least. I mean, we've done 25 episodes. I would want to say at least a good third of that is that's
a lot.
That's a lot. You know what I mean? We're not asking for a lot. We know you got it, bro. Bros.
They're technically broke. They're borrowing money to make shows. They're not getting the money back. That's what I keep on hearing and reading. Netflix is not making that much money back. Because
in general or just for the show?
I think they're making too much content. So there's so much Netflix content, like especially in documentaries and their own.
You think
Netflix originals?
They went over their overhead.
Yeah. So I think they're borrowing money somewhere somehow. But how much money are you really making when no new subscriptions are out? Like how many subscriptions Netflix get a month? Not that much, because me and you could share a Netflix account and split the profit.
That became a federal crime, no? Just for Netflix, yeah, you're not supposed to. You can be federally charged.
You're bugging because
I'm not bugging. That was on the news, bro.
No, man.
You're telling me that
then we all going to jail. Half of America going to jail right now.
Are you debating with me that there's not a law that came out?
That you can't share Netflix accounts?
Are you debating that happened? I'm not saying that they're active in doing it. They're hunting down people, but this was actual thing. They made it legal. They made it legal,
God
bro.
forgive me. I'm gonna call bullshit. Bullshit. God forgive me.
Bro, bro.
You look it up right now?
Is it legal to share your password with Netflix? No, I spoke too soon. Can you share your password in Netflix?
The first thing that says, read it out loud.
Dude, I can't even see it.
Okay.
They're not coming after you, but they made a federal regulation that it's illegal to share your password from Netflix. It was a big thing, bro. It was on the news. And people were like, even the reporters were like,
First off, it's
even the reporters were looking at each other like,
it's from 2016. It says.
Yeah,
But
this was a while back.
So it says the company isn't coming after you. In a statement in Business Insider, Netflix said the following: as long as they aren't selling them, members can use their passwords however they please. Basically, I can't make a profit from giving you my Netflix password. So the whole thing about saying, hey, give me $1 a month for my Netflix password, then we're fine.
Yeah, again, they're not coming out because nothing came out of it. This whatever.
2 years ago,
nothing happened.
It's a scare tactic.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But
so then my bullshit statement stands. I win.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up here. I'm gonna put it in the bio.
I win.
I win. All right. I even forgot what we were up to last. That this whole debate came about.
Oh, you how many you were saying something about Netflix doesn't pay me.
Yeah.
And
So
I got
but
off topic.
I gotta give it to them. They're really throwing out some. They know how to do it, bro.
Their documentary
It's just even there. Have you seen
There's so many shows.
Lost in Space?
I seen the first 2 episodes. I didn't finish it.
I love it.
I heard that
son
one was really good.
It's so good for your kids.
Yeah,
Kids would love
my
it.
daughter doesn't like. My daughter's not a sci-fi freak, so
She likes like dinosaurs?
she doesn't like that stuff at all.
Like what stuff?
So like the Lost in Space, she won't watch it.
But it's more like a kid than an alien robot, bro.
That's why I told her, I was like, Kayla, this is she's not into it. The most thing I get about with my daughter, which I am like jumping on, because is the obviously she's a big Marvel and she's a superhero fan. Like
so
that.
she gets
I'm like we just started playing Lego Star Wars.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that this
Gets her into the sci-fi
gets her
world?
into wanting to watch the movies. Now I know there's a lot of movies. Some of them are good, some are not bad. But I want to get her into some like it's my way of doing it, you know.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
So Lost in Space, I haven't watched or anything.
Not happening. Gotcha. I'm just looking at something here in my bag. So back to the show. I don't know where we left off first. Let's address the whole potential shooting at the prom night or
It was
singles,
last episode.
mingles, something.
Yeah, it was the last
dinner, whatever party.
Yeah. So basically, in this episode, what's happening is this is the after effect of after the trial. The parents lost. The school won. The school found out that there were more girls. That was
Jessica came forward. And so messed up. Another issue of how, and that's across the board, how rich white males, their sentencing compared to a Puerto Rican, a black male is so obvious. That
so if you have money and you don't have any quote unquote any priors.
Well, further than that, his parents had influence and power.
Well, yeah, it's a small town.
It's a small town.
The richest family in the town.
We're not talking about this city life.
No, we're not talking about city life. We're talking about a small town
most people
Indiana.
here won't even relate. Out here.
Is it Indiana or Cali? I can't remember where the show's based.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, but anywhere. It's the most influential family in
the neighborhood,
in the town.
I think they even paid for the whole.
Yeah, they paid for every kid that the school brought in the sports. They paid the lawyer. The lawyer covered them. So
Crazy.
Again, it was a big cover up, and obviously, the last episode is after the after effect of that. Bryce is not going to jail at this point, but he's getting he has probation.
3 months.
3 months probation. I think he's on house arrest. I'm not sure, but he gets to finish school and go off to college.
Yeah. Yeah, he loses his scholarships and he can't play for a team in college, but still manages to get around that.
Yeah, exactly.
And gets to play Alex. Is it Alex? No, the other guy. Who's the other kid? He basically, what's his name? The drug dealer one.
Justin.
Justin.
So he gets jail time.
Bryce.
So he's in jail longer.
Okay.
There's a couple of reasons why he didn't get out right away. One, he was part of that baseball team and the culture of rape that they had there. He was part of it.
Yeah. He was accessory to it.
Yeah,
that was his charge. So he was charged with
photographing Bryce having sex with girls.
Right, but Bryce was charged with a sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
Okay, which is a felony.
No.
Assault?
Bryce, it was sexual misconduct.
Oh God!
And
he
girl,
performed the act. He witnessed it.
Yes.
He got more time. We're talking about Justin got more time.
Well, the reason why Justin got more time is because one, so his parents, his mom was a drug addict. They couldn't find her. So in the law, in that state law, he couldn't get released to anyone that's not a family member.
Correct.
So it took the system in the show. It took more than 30 days for them to release him into Clay's mom,
who was only willing to adopt. He would have went into foster, and there were only two. And I believe they were full, which was why they were holding him, because there was no capacity at the two foster homes in this neighborhood. I believe that's right. You guys got to watch the show.
No, yeah. So that's what happened, and that. So now they're all in. Now Justin is everyone's out of jail. Everybody's trying to move on and everything like that.
Right.
And now the scene is they're standing. So Hannah Baker's song is out. Which was a sad, that part, I teared up in that part. I teared because the song, and it's all the kids that's involved in the show at that moment.
Listen.
On
the issue of crying, that's to me more. Being a man, a real man, really confronts his feelings and addresses them.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of what society's plaguing, our young male, and it's been happening for generations. And I think that's part of, a lot of the issues that we have. Tyler, he was raped, right? Tyler was pretty much sexually assaulted, really.
Yes.
So
when he came. So we're
going back.
We're going back to the. So that's everyone.
I cried too, bro. I was like, damn.
Again, they were in the prom and everything like that, and it's a very powerful scene.
It's upstairs.
It's a very powerful scene, and they're crying. Now Tyler's character in the show was basically a photograph. She quote unquote photographed Hannah Baker in the room kissing a girl. He was one of the tapes. In season 1. He spread a rumor. He spread pictures out of Hannah taking off her shirt, undressing, kissing a girl, and
he was a perv.
Yeah, he was a perv.
He was just a young kid exploring.
Yeah.
With a camera.
Exactly. He had a big crush on her.
Huge.
Yeah.
He did have a big crush on her. You really changed emotions about this kid. Yeah, and they had discussed that in the recap. That in the beginning you start feeling like, oh, this kid is annoying, blah 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 blah. But then when he gets
so now, he quote unquote found his place, right? He found his place with some friends. He met some friends. He went on a date with someone and everything like that.
Yeah, but then he jizzed his pants because he was kissing her. That's messed up. Has that ever happened to you?
I'm not talking about that right now. I will never say anything like that. That is insane to even ask. This is a different type of podcast.
Yo, this is the basement, bro.
I am not talking about jizzing on yourself.
It's never happened to me.
That's good. You have self-control.
Guys, to me, it was like, what are you talking about, bro? Okay, so
He's in the movie theater. She. I think she's just literally just rubbing his leg or something like that. She never touched
I don't
him.
think she touched him. I think it was just a kiss.
And
It's his
he-
first contact with a female.
And he jizzed on his pants, left. Now this is his best friend's
I love
sister.
your reaction to say the word like.
Jizzed in his pants. And,
My wife doesn't hear this.
she definitely is going to hear jizz in his pants. So he jizzed on the pants, and he got so embarrassed and left the girl. Now this girl is his best friend's sister. So there's already a conflict there. Best friend's sister, and he really liked the girl. No, he's not like he didn't like her. You know, he got embarrassed, and the girl understood that. She knew, and she was like, "Hey, it happens. It's okay." He was like, "No, get the F out of here. I don't want to see you. You crazy." Like, he went to this rave with the brother, this rock concert,
Yeah.
jumping, blah, blah. The
He
sister
played her because
And
he didn't know how to deal with
He didn't know
those-
how to deal with that. He didn't know how to deal with that, and he got caught. He curses her out. The brother sees it, and he's excommunicated from that
his,
group.
from his friend who he developed
Yes.
a relationship with.
Yes. So that happened. Now, my memory's a little foggy. I don't know how he went to this camp, like the school. Now,
So what basically happened was once he so you know he befriended, they become, you know, they stop communicating. What had happened was later on he gets fed up, you know, with the situation, and he posts everything he did with his. No, that's what. Yeah, he posts everything he did with his buddy.
that's right.
He posted everything that he did, and he was
So-
like, "Yo, what are you doing, bro?" You know, and then that's when Taylor says, he's like, you know, maybe we do something about it. We take care of it
Tyler,
today.
yeah.
Tyler says, maybe we do something. We do something about it today. And the thing was that when his friend, I forgot his name. I'm trying to look for him. Do you see him? Does he look different?
No, it's more down that way.
Oh, damn. He's a little guy. I do not see this kid.
Me either.
Oh, no. That was bad. So apparently this kid doesn't even make the top 20. Unless we're not seeing him. Who's this kid?
Jeff. No, that's not. No, that's someone else. And
So his friend reports him.
yeah, so basically
He was
throughout
like,
the
yo,
season,
he just said some crazy stuff.
so throughout the season, Tyler gets so upset. Like, he's upset about about the Hannah Baker situation. And now when every episode is a different kid testifying their story about Hannah Baker. So obviously, if the kid is lying, which they are, about their relationship or whatever, Tyler and his friend, we got to find out this guy's name, this kid's name.
I feel like it's this guy. I don't know why. It's not this kid?
No, that's not him.
Bro.
So basically what happened was that,
Even the little kid made it. Who's this little kid?
I don't even know who the little kid is.
I think that's not Justin.
Justin has no siblings.
Not Justin.
Clay has no siblings either.
No, that's this kid. That's
Clay's-
Justin as younger, the younger Justin.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Try the IMDb.
This?
Go back.
Oh,
Yeah, go back to
am I doing it right?
the cat.
now?
No, go with the history. Go
okay.
back, yeah, and then hit on the full cast, so you'll see him, the name and everything like that.
Damn, bro, that's reading right there. What
All
did
the
they
way
say?
down.
Whoa, hold on.
These names are not good at all. Justin Foley knows Zach.
Evan? Trying to zoom in so we can see the photos of this kid.
So yeah, again, so now what's happening is that
They got no love for this
he's really-
actor.
Yeah, I don't know where Wait, go back up. Is it the kid with the hat? Is it him? Is it him?
Oh, Bryce?
Yeah, I think that's him. Look at the name.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's his name in the show?
I don't know, but we're gonna name him Bryce.
'Cause that's his real name, Bryce.
That's his name. That's what we go with.
So him, like they would do certain things to affect people that were testifying and telling lies about Hannah Baker. So they released a photo of the black student, the student body president. They released a photo of him getting grinded with the baseball team, getting a lap dance by a stripper. They released they burnt up the field saying rape culture, slut, like rapists and everything like that on the baseball field. So so after the incident with the sister, they released all that information, say it was him, and what he did was tell the principal it was all him and everything like that. And Tyler was like, listen, we could do, before that, Tyler was like, yo, we could do something about it. We have guns, we know how to shoot them. If we know how to shoot the guns, let's do something about it.
Yeah, let's do something.
He said, bro, you're bugging, and told the school and his dad. And so Tyler goes to camp and everything, some like detention school or something like that. So now when Tyler comes back, the baseball team is really upset at him right now because he cost the season, because he burnt the school, he burnt the stadium, he made the whole town turn against them in the baseball team. So when he goes back to school, they sexually assault him with a broom. They beat now all at before this time. All his friends, Tyler thought he could get back with the girl. The girl moved on. The sister moved on. The friend said, "Hey, everyone."
It was creepy when he came back because I was like, "Oh God, this guy looks like he went through
he shaved his hair. He was just bald,
and he was being polite. Hey, how's it going? And so yeah, you're right. He's dealing with the rejection that his girlfriend found somebody else.
And nobody wanted to say nothing. He was and he had no
even his former friend was like,
allies. Yeah,
you want to go hang out? I was like, yeah, I don't think about it.
No, I'm good.
I don't know about that.
He said, back up, my nigga. He said, back up, my nigga. I don't want nothing to do with you.
You still look creepy as hell.
So he went to and he gets sexually assaulted in the bathroom with the broom and everything. And this is the same night as a prom night. Or the dance, or whatever it was. This is the same day.
One day, bro.
And one day he got rejected from his friends. That's the thing. Like where this is where we should say these are things that we have to teach our children to be sensitive to certain people and how you talk to them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what kind of you don't know what kind of day they had
before you.
You know, as Christians, we're taught that as, you know, be loving and kind, and even if you don't like the person. How many people you say hi to in church that you don't like?
I'm not answering that question.
You don't want to answer that question, but you will answer, I never jizzed in my pants.
No, bro. I mean, I thought I was weird because when I was growing up, I was like, yeah, it's a normal thing. It happens. You know, you get excited. You know, you're taught that, you know, that might happen to you, you know, as you're exploring, right? And I'm like, yeah, never happened. Am I wrong? Is something broken? I was always like, God.
As a kid, no, I
don't know.
I was told never, like, they were like, I was the oldest of 7 brothers. I had 2 uncles that were wild and everything. And they basically said, be careful, because you don't want to be that guy to go in your pants. I went, huh? I didn't even know what jizz was at that time. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, okay. I thought it was talking about piss or something, like peeing in your pants or something like that. He was like, you never want to be
that guy
that goes in his pants. I was like, okay.
That was like a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah. But obviously, I'm definitely in the wrong season.
You're in season 1, episode 13.
That's how bad I'm at with this. So the kid ultimately he has all that, and then he gets assaulted.
Then he gets real bad scene. Real bad scene. Like I was like, this is bad. Like
I was like,
this.
you obviously.
At this point, you feel for him. Like Tyler became like this guy that you sympathize with.
So to me that's a big thing, because and that's why they have the recap, I guess. Is the show telling the audience that have pity for these shooters?
The show is.
Listen, when I'm thinking about people who are closed-minded and
But-
because to me it doesn't, but I can only imagine there might be those that say, "Oh, we're excusing them now. They're giving us a reason why it's okay to do a mass shooting."
No.
The show producers and they asked them that, and they're like, "Yeah, this is no way condemning, this kid's actions." They say that, So, but go ahead.
So basically, I think what the show is saying is that there's always a cause for something. You don't wake up and say, I'm going to shoot up a school. Like I, in my eyes, as a Christian, I'm going to say that there's no way someone wakes up with that mentality.
I want to go shoot.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot up the school. Like I'm not going.
What do you mean? Like there aren't issues. There aren't.
The thing is, with all these mass shootings in schools, all you hear is a mass shooting, right? And then that's it. You don't hear why the kid did it, or what caused the kid to do it, or what happened in this kid's life. Like the only time you hear that is if all this. Like if someone goes to Kuwait and be like, yeah, for Allah I'm doing it for. Like then you hear a reason like, oh well, he's a terrorist. Like, but like for kids, most of these kids survive these things. You never hear why, because they don't want you to sympathize with the shooter. Media don't want you to sympathize for the shooter.
No,
the media doesn't want to hear them say, well, this kid used to beat me up in school. I used to get raped in school. I used to get beat up. I used to get my food taken away. I got beat up every day in my life. I got cursed. I got spit at. There's no need. There's no will to know what caused this kid to do what he did. I'm not saying the kid is right.
Right, and that's what the producers and the writers were acknowledging. I don't want to say that we're not condemning that, and there's no action. There's no reason, rather, to validate or suggest that it's warranted, this act that he did. Yeah, and I think everyone across the board can agree on that.
But what the show shows you is there is a reason why he's doing what he's going to do.
Yeah, and to that, I think, and I'm glad that they're doing another season. To that, I say that, how do we get, and it's, to me, as when you're young, your emotions, you ride them on the surface, right? You ride on them. You instinctively react when it comes to your emotions and your feelings. There isn't time to pause, analyze, let me look at this thing and, take a step back. We do that as adults because we've learned and made enough mistakes that we can, we've learned through the mistakes that we should take a second before we react. And with the youth, they don't have that training. I just feel like it, to the very least, in order to start coming up with solutions to gun shootings, you got to be able to talk about it. And when I see the young individuals that voted no to the idea of utilizing this series as a tool in schools to educate and bring awareness, when I hear them saying no, I'm hearing more shootings being reported in the news. I'm hearing more deaths and more cries.
We're in the age we're in a time where there's too much content out there not to be able to discuss these situations.
Right. That there should be no excuse, rather.
There's no excuse why if let's be like listen, if you're in a public school, you're like the people that say no to it are Christians. Two of them are Christians.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that, right? We could say that. The two of them are Christians, so I could say that in their eyes is like, well, as Christians, we don't believe in that stuff. We don't believe in suicide or rape or whatever,
Right.
Right. Like we're gonna turn a blind eye to that stuff.
That also brings me to. Go ahead. I want to finish that thought because I don't want to forget something.
No, yeah, we're gonna turn a blind eye to it, But if you're in a public school, you're in a public, a non-Christian environment, like most of our kids now are. They're being exposed to it, whether we like it or not.
Right. So it's almost like we have to. We got to beat them to the punch.
It's like, do you want your kid to know about sex the wrong way? Or you want some other kid to teach your kid the birds and the bees? Yeah.
Or do you want to take that on as your responsibility? Is it the school's responsibility?
No, I think if it's a discussion in a sense of there's an issue, going on, like it should be discussed. Like listen, the school. Listen, it goes down to this show raised too many questions and it's too popular to where if I have a teenager and I see my kid watching that show,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let my kid watch at 13, 14 years old. But if he's 16, 17, 18 years old watching the show, I'm going to discuss what's happening. I want to talk to I want to talk to him or her and say, hey, so you watch the show, all right? What do you think of it? Ask questions. Do you have any questions? Do you know any? Like, do you want to, be open with your child?
Yeah, I mean, there was so much. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine the mother of Hannah when she heard the news that her daughter knew about the cheating husband situation. I don't know how, and that's why he didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
That's why he didn't want to, because he blamed himself.
He blamed himself,
and it came to light.
but he checked out. He checked out. Listen, as a married man, if I'm already cheating on my wife before, God forbid anything happens that tragic, I mentally checked out of that marriage, and I checked out of that being a father.
Right. Yeah. So, the reason I'm bringing this up is because as much as the parents are responsible, look, our children have 8 hours where they're with people we trust. So at least see something, say something. Can't that apply that model? See something, say something. Now they're with strangers, right? We don't know these people personally. We're trusting that they're licensed professionals, right? And what are they doing for the rest of those hours? Another 8 is sleeping, 8 sleeping, and the rest of it is with you. So to me, you can't blame sleep, but you can't hold sleep accountable, but you could hold the school and the parents accountable. And I think working together, building a dialogue, utilizing tools like this and many others, then we could start opening up. Everyone wants to point to the weapon and society. They want a quick fix. This is not a quick fix issue. This is going to be a part of your life experience, that you involve yourself with the school and your child and develop a close relationship for that child's development all around, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. To me, there is no other issue. Anyone that says that, no, they're against utilizing this as a tool or any other tool, they're saying we don't want to talk about it. And anyone with that mindset is someone that I'd say to them, then don't complain when things happen.
Yeah.
Okay? That's
Yeah.
like, to me, that's that whole saying where I didn't vote. Well, then don't say anything. Okay?
You lost your privilege to
Lost.
talk.
You had your chance.
Yeah.
Just like Hannah did. She didn't have a choice anymore.
She lost her choice.
You
when
lost
released
your
those-
choice when you made that decision to give your life up. Now, the interesting thing was the priest, too, when Clay had asked him, what do you think about God and suicide? And the priest, it's funny. It's funny because the priest and the mother's lawyer, they played a gay couple in the latest Star Trek series.
Oh, yeah.
So seeing them is like, I keep seeing them on that aspect.
Where in Solo?
No, they were Star Trek Discovery, the latest Star Trek series
yeah,
that just came out.
Star Trek.
The priest plays a doctor a scientist, and the lawyer is a doctor. So it's just weird.
Yeah.
But the priest is being asked, "What do you think about suicide?" And the priest says, "The God I believe in doesn't judge us on that."
Doesn't judge us on one mistake.
Something like that, right?
One mistake. That's what he said.
And I'm just like, That's a side note. This is another thing that I wanted to confirm because leading up to the shooting, so what happens is the kid gets harassed. He's sitting at home on the computer and his mother asks him, "How was your day?" And he's playing it off. He has a hat on covering his bruises. And the mother hugs him and you could see in his face he's trying to hold the pain from her touching him, his fresh wounds. And the kid, like you were gonna tell he's going in. Like if you didn't kind of figure that he was gonna go and do this, you really need to go back. Because it was leading up to this. The kid goes and he makes his way to the school. He sends out a text message to that character that we're calling whatever we
The
just call
girl.
her.
The girl. The
girlfriend?
He sent it to the.
I thought
the
he
girl
sent
that
it to. Oh yeah,
He sent it to the little girl.
because he
sister.
wanted to save her, get out.
He wanted. Yeah. He,
So
'cause
she showed.
He still had feeling.
feeling. Come on.
He still had emotion.
So she gave it. The sister gave it to his former boyfriend, and the friend goes into the group, the main group of the cast, and warns them, "Yo, this is about to go down." Clay, and I want to confirm this, but Clay says to the group, "Stay here, lock the doors. Don't call the police." And I'm like,
They said don't call police.
Yeah, I don't know. This is not the scene. I gotta find it.
No, it's going. It's coming up.
It's
right now.
coming up. I don't want the audience to have to wait
Right there.
for that part to actually come out because he pulls up.
He's coming out
He
already.
already came out, so it's a few seconds back.
Yeah.
I think it's even.
I think
between
it's
this.
in beginning of that.
Right. This is a in between scene because
Yeah, not this one. Be when he first. It's back more. Yeah.
yeah, you see. So we'll let it play out while we talk. But he leaves and he says, "Don't call the cops," and I'm like, did they just write that?
I don't think he said that.
That's weird, right?
I don't think he said don't.
So the controversy. So what they address in the recap of the series is that, this kid put himself in lives. He put his life in danger by going in.
Well, that was who Clay was. Like, obviously, Clay,
his nature.
That was his nature of saying, this is this is the type of man he is. This guy was fighting for dead girls' rights. This who he loved. And at this point, he was willing to give her up.
Okay, I think it's here. He did say it.
Don't call the police.
Don't call the police. So why? Is that a mistake? To me, he said don't call the police because like you're saying, his nature, in his heart, his mind, I could get this kid to,
I could
not
save
do
this
it.
kid.
I could save this kid. I could save everyone.
Yeah.
Don't call the cops.
Yeah.
Obviously, somebody called the cops.
Yeah. Well, but you could play it out. You want to play out the
No, I don't want to ruin it. Like, you guys figure it out, even though this is a spoiler. But so I think that
whole
was
speech. No, I was on the edge of my seat because people that I was watching, that watched it before me, they was like, "Yo, it's really bad." Now their mentality was, they said that they were, this is the way it ended. It's really, really bad.
What are your
Everything
thoughts?
Like that. What? How it ended?
Yeah.
So I was, again, watching the whole scene, watching it and everything. I'm like, all right, so, well, this is how it's going to end. He's going to shoot Clay right in the head, while he's talking, and he's going to go up, shoot up the whole school. No more season, no more 13 Reasons Why. The cops are going to come shoot him, and everyone dies. That's how the series ends. So I was like, okay. I was waiting for that. And
you thought it was going to go through?
I was definitely, because someone told me it's really bad. I was like, all right. So he obviously...
You felt cheated.
So knowing that, right? I'm not gonna say I felt cheated of a school shooting. That sounds
No,
bad.
that's wrong. It's
That's
wrong.
so bad.
It's a fake.
But
it's not a real show. Addressing real issues, though.
But Clay, it shows how much influence Clay has on that school and the people involved in that school, where he could just go up to this guy, to Tyler, and say, please, I don't want you to die. You don't have to do this. There are people that care about you. Get in the car and go.
That's crazy.
As Christians, we say that to everyone, right? We say that. That's, to me, that's like Christ saying. That's like Christ saying, it's like, I love you. I don't want you to do this. Get in the car and come with me so I can save your life.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we know he gets inside the car, drives off, and that's how the series ends.
And Clay stays there.
Where the sirens go off.
With the gun.
And Clay's holding the gun in his hand. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Now, if you're going to, I didn't know it was going to end that way. So he's holding the gun. I'm like, the cops are going to come, they're going to shoot Clay. I was like, that, and then I was like, okay, so that's what season. And so in my head, I was like, well, then that's what season 3 is going to be about police shootings now and school shootings
Netflix
and stuff like that.
Killing it.
So I was like, okay, so maybe that's where we're going to go.
There's a lot more. There's
and Clay, and there's, now you have the baby. She's having a baby.
She's in an abusive relationship.
She's still in that relationship. She's still in that relationship.
And she's surrendered.
Yeah.
By her saying, yeah, I believe you, knowing full well. By her saying she's surrendering to him. Mm-hmm. Now he's like, yeah, I got full power.
Well, that's the thing. That's who he was.
And that's what it was. His niche, what turned him on, when you saw the erection that he had, what turned him on was the idea of control. Yeah. So in that scene where she says, I need you, he says, I need you to say it. Yeah. You do believe me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, now I'm gonna be good with Shorty for a little while because I got full control over her. So she's in this abusive relationship that she has no idea what she just did. She got this pregnancy thing, so abortion comes up. Then you have the kid who's still doing heroin. He's
still on drugs.
His actor name is Justin.
No, his name is...
His stage name is Justin.
Justin, yeah. He's still on drugs.
He's still on drugs, okay. And then you have the conflict between Alex, who shot himself, another issue, who's recovering and then realizes is dating Jessica. And then you have the scene with Jessica and...
Justin who dated and then having sex.
You got that other backup story.
But then you also have now bullying is still going on in the school. Now you gotta go to the ending of when they fired the counselor, who was at this point was trying to save everyone, trying to tell the school like this is who it is, and he gave him a stack of paper.
And on top of that stack
was Justin. He gave him a stack.
Was it Justin?
It was on top of that stack was a student. He goes, listen, these are I know you don't care. To the principal, I know you don't care. I know you you could give two craps, basically. I'm paraphrasing, but these kids are most likely, in my eyes, going to do something very horrible if we don't intervene now. And what the principal does, looks at it. All right, I'll look at it. Look, not even looking at it, just throws it on the desk and walks out of the school after the teacher walks out, after the counselor walks out. And on top of that stack, Justin's name.
Then you have the
So the
there's
negligence.
there's so much follow up that they could do.
It can. There's so much different things. Now, in my eyes, where could you go with that? Is it could have been a lot darker, because from what I read, I forgot, they were gonna go with the school shooting. 13 Reasons Why.
So
They were gonna do that.
They asked. They did a few interesting things. The writing cast, the producers. One of the things was, how many people feel that the school should be responsible? How many people feel like that they lose? And literally 5 and 5. That's what they were saying. I don't know the part that you're saying, because I still haven't finished the recap.
No, they're not saying that. This is what I read somewhere else.
Okay.
That they were gonna. The ending of the show was that the school shooting was gonna happen, but we gotta understand. And they canceled it because in the height there was like, how many school shootings were happening
after Parkland? Hold on.
Where
I haven't done the research, and it sounds like you have. Typical Puerto Rican, never really.
Puerto Rican too.
All right, but you have a wife, so I feel like if you're a Puerto Rican, you have a wife, they take care of you. They do all the appointment setting, they pay all the bills, arrange. Do you? So I was like, oh great, here's my checking out.
Oh well, my wife does all that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
She does doctor's appointments and everything like that. But the one thing, I've done the show 3 times. The only thing that she always says before she goes, remember, this is gonna be on the internet. Don't say anything you can't come back from.
Well, here's the thing, right? So
that's the only thing she says. She goes, watch out what you say. That's all she says.
My thing is that I am mature enough and enlightened enough that if someone comes in here and introduces a sound logic and that I could be edified, I'm not that old that I can't be edified. They say that you're set more in your ways when you're older, and it's hard to change your viewpoints.
Yeah.
I never want to be that person, bro.
No, yeah, we know.
If I could change, if what?
We know a lot of people like that.
Oh God.
They're like, well, this is how it's going to be.
This is the way it is, and you can, I always want to learn. I think known knowledge is key. It's the most important thing. So to that I say, I'm willing to state my opinion, and if I'm wrong and someone checks me and the facts are facts, I'm more than willing to. I'll throw it out there. I was wrong, but
listen to her.
Huh?
I do listen to her. Let me rephrase that. I do listen to her, but like
I'm gonna get this man in trouble. He's gonna sleep.
If I'm gonna say something,
yeah,
I'm gonna mean like it's because I say it. Like
that's what it is.
It is what it is. I'm a very outspoken.
Yeah, me too.
Person like, so she gets nervous because what she says, she goes, you never grew out of. Sometimes you forget that you're not in the projects anymore, where you don't have to fend for your life anymore. You're like, I grew up in the projects, so it's like you don't have to be in that mentality anymore. Like don't get hood or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's like that's what she says. That's
for the show.
Yeah,
or in general, like
no, that's my general. That's what she says generally to me. Like,
okay.
Just remember who you are. Just remember who you are
while you're on the show,
and
anywhere,
and like here in the show, she goes, just be careful what you say.
Say it,
because I'll just. Because sometimes I forget.
I love it.
Like, there's certain things you'll talk with your significant other, but never say outside to anyone else. Because if you say those things that you say to your significant other, right, it's people gonna look at you. Like,
has she seen any of or heard any?
Yes, she watched. Yeah.
Well, what did she think?
No, she says, "Oh, you did
crazy."
Good. Yeah, she goes. She goes. The second when we did the second part of Infinity War.
Yes.
She was like, I thought you guys were talking about the movie. You literally talked about everything that came.
But the movie, I
But
felt
the
in the
movie.
episode.
She goes, but the movie. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's just how I was like, that's how
That's
they
what,
are.
that, honestly, that's what
There's no
happens here.
guidelines
There's
or anything like
there's no
that.
script.
I was like,
You
there's
guys
no.
have no
She was
idea.
like, you guys don't break down what, or this is the topic. I was like, nah, man. The only thing I do is take out what my phone and what I want to talk about, and like I my notes is I take out notes. I'm like, all right, this is what I'll say about this topic.
Okay.
And
I gotta get better with that because now I'm
That's
solo. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot of really successful individuals that have the one man show, and I was just over the weekend I was analyzed like, oh, how am I gonna do this? And a lot of the feedback that I get, not to scratch my own back, but a lot of people have been telling me or suggesting that I should try doing stand up. I did karaoke this weekend for the first time.
by yourself.
Well, no, with my family. They had one of my cousin's husband had like a whole DJ equipment to set up, and I'm like, yo. So they kind of
Is
forced
there
me.
video for that?
I hope not, dear God.
There's video for everything.
There is, but hopefully, I don't remember seeing
Was
a
your
camera.
son there?
No, I didn't have him this weekend, but
So then it never happened then.
it did. I have like 13, 14 family members over there. Screw you. This guy wants proof for everything. I was like, no, bro.
Seeing is believing.
So they all say, I've had several people suggest to me, like, did you hear that? Oh, that wasn't me. That was me.
People.
This brushed against my
okay.
shoulder. So they were like, yeah, you should try it. You should try it. I'm like, oh my God, the nerves.
Like stand up? Like
stand up. Like, just
like
go out.
comedy?
Yeah.
Like yeah?
Yeah.
Do you write your material?
I don't write at all.
So like you go
What
out
would
there
I
and
do?
wing it?
Yeah, like what would I do? So someone was like, you should try taking like an improv. They were like, you would be perfect for Saturday Night Live.
You. Like acting? You're good in acting?
So I used to do when I was a teenager. I loved doing it. I go to work and I'm just like, every day I come in with another theme. Tomorrow's theme is I'm a penguin, and then the next Friday's theme
So
is I'm
give me a sneak
flamingo.
peek of how would you like you
Oh, but you see, you can't throw me in the spot like that.
Why
I feel
not?
like because I'm not that
This is
good.
Saturday Night Live on the Wednesday. On the Wednesday right now.
We'll do it another. You know what? If I do it like a stand up, I'm definitely somebody got to come with me, bro. Because
I'll
I'm
go
not
with
going.
you.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going
I'll go.
alone.
I'll do anything.
You know what I mean?
go any-
Probably to throw a few drinks back, to get the mood
Oh,
started.
that's even better.
Right, yeah, at least you'll
even
laugh at
better.
someone, acting
true.
a fool, making a fool of themselves. But I was just asking about your wife and her feedback because I'm struggling to find a female. I was thinking about giving Leslie a shout out, but
To talk on the
show and
on the show.
whatnot.
About what?
So
What will be the topic?
I haven't. Oh, okay, so that's very interesting. It leads us to a segue. Did you see this post?
Should New York legalize? Yeah. So
Did you see the senator and her point
the
of
girl
view?
from Sex and the City?
First of all, you know so much more than me because I
She's
had
from
no
Sex and the City.
When I heard she was an actor, I was like, from where was she?
Sex
like
and the City.
Did she do a commercial?
She's from Sex and the City.
You saw Sex in the City?
I only saw the movies because my wife. So I saw the
Right.
first one because my wife wanted to see it. We were just dating, and when you're dating, you do things that you don't normally do. As like if I'm married and she's like, I want to see Sex in the City 3, I'm gonna look at her and be like, no. So
So,
season 1 I saw, or actually season 1. I
is
saw
it
the first
good?
movie.
I mean,
The first movie, I don't know. I don't know.
it's a girl thing.
I thought it was okay and everything, not knowing the series and everything like that. Then I think so. See, then the second movie came out, Sex and the City, and she went to go.
Bro,
see that
I know
one.
nothing.
She went to go see that with my gay brother. I was so happy. I was like, "Go, get out of here,
Have fun.
have fun."
Yeah, I know nothing about the show, but have you heard her take and her reason why she's supporting legalizing?
I want to hear,
marijuana?
and I'll give you my. You want to talk about that real quick?
No, I mean, I'll just throw it out there, and this is what I was thinking of bringing Leslie on. I don't
Okay,
know
go
why.
About talking about weed.
No, just yeah, turn on.
So okay, we're talking about the legalization for white people already. Like, so I worked at this advertisement company, and it was an office party,
Right.
like, and all these, I see a big circle outside, right? And this circle has the CEO, the vice president, the presidents of different departments in the advertisement company. I thought it was a big discussion that they were talking. And I
Right.
walked into that circle. They were all smoking weed. I looked around. I was like, "Yo, you guys are gonna get in trouble by the cops." She goes, "What cops? Where cops?"
Why would they be?
And right there, me, a light-skinned Puerto Rican from the projects in Brooklyn, New York. I've always been scared to smoke weed anywhere. When you know, but for them to not care in the middle of Manhattan on 32nd Street and 5th Avenue, in the middle of it was still pretty much nighttime. It was like
Right.
9, 10 o'clock. The privilege the unfear that they had to do it was like insane to me. I never saw that. I was like, holy crap.
So okay, do you agree with her? Because I feel like you're saying yes.
So I think that there's different stages with marriage, right? So I agree. I came from a family of drug addicts and stuff, and alcoholics and stuff. So I know that in talking with family members affected, I've seen people, marijuana being the startup drug to something else,
Gateway.
the gateway drug to something else, But then I've seen people where marijuana is just it controls my anxiety, it controls my my thought process, it relaxes me and everything.
Muscle, whatever, pain.
Yeah, pain and everything.
But you do believe that it is a gateway drug.
I do believe that if not taken properly, there isn't. Yeah.
So I hear that argument.
It's the same thing like alcohol. To me, it's the same thing like alcohol.
Cigarettes?
Cigarettes. And
Gambling.
all things that were illegal a long time ago. So of course, if I'll indulge in a few drinks here and there.
Yeah.
I don't do it every day.
Right. So when it comes to this idea of it being a gateway, I agree. You could say that about anything else. I think that what we're not addressing is why it became a gateway in the first place. Where was the lack of again, we're talking about the show. Where could we identify in this individual's raising this individual, where can we identify that we've neglected educating this child or developing a relationship that the child can come to a parent, a guidance counselor, and address whatever issue that, including drugs. I'm thinking about trying this. And, so we have the DARE programs. The schools are implementing, all these that talk about drugs.
I don't see DARE anymore.
You don't see DARE anymore?
I have DARE. There was when we were in school, DARE was a big thing, right?
Yo, I'm old, so
when we were in school, DARE was a big thing. There was T-shirts, there were rallies and everything. I don't see no DARE anymore. It's not as popular anymore.
So a friend of mine who her son is a police officer. He goes out and does the DARE awareness with children in schools. So I'm guessing it's still happening, maybe only in Staten Island, but I don't know.
Well, where is that in the communities where we need it?
Right. Where is that for the parents?
The parents are the ones doing the stuff now.
I doubt it, bro.
Than smoking listen again.
No. I'm saying that the parents are not.
Do I think that what she said is correct in the sense of that most of my friends, I've seen people get arrested for 2 bags of weed in their pocket. Walking down the street. So I've seen cops stop someone that I'm with who had one bag of weed and said, "All right," and walk away. So it's a preference.
Well, recently the mayor, because of her running and her this issue about legalization of marijuana, she's getting a foothold. And I think what Governor Cuomo is thinking, not that I think, my opinion is that he's threatened by it. Fox was saying it too, that in response to his campaign, what's the word, rival, opponent, that he, and I have another friend who's an officer rookie, and they were training 3 or 4 weeks ago on this new procedure that Cuomo signed in, that if you're in possession, it's a fine. You go pay the fine. Mm-hmm. But there's more to it. If you're behind the wheel, if you have felonies, that stuff is different.
Obviously, if I have a brick like this and it's weed, I'm going to jail for a long time. But if I have a little sprinkle,
you could actually have up to an ounce. So you could have up to that brick.
This right here? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Up to an ounce, but not more. Exactly, right?
That's crazy.
That's insane to me. But so so he's doing this because he wants to get reelected,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he's not willing to give the full legalization, go for it, but he's willing to let loose a little to try to get some of those who are completely for it and giving her numbers in polls.
Now it's so open where people are just walking down the street smoking weed.
Yeah.
I see it all over Manhattan.
I'm more for it for a lot of reasons, but mainly because we already have 8 examples of the benefits of taxing this thing and what you could do to communities. And the reason why, the way I look at it is, wow, for the lack of knowledge and the lack of building, and we have models that there's a model for alcohol. We have models that we can copy and paste. This is just like alcohol. These are the rules and regulations behind it. So my thing is that, wow, how much money have we lost? Think about the 90s. If this was back in the 90s, you would have been able to provide every child an Apple, a computer. Today, every public school would have the most advanced technologies. If you're really investing into the future, you invest into the children, Clinton's campaign, or the Bush, I think that was Bush.
So the states, is it true that the states that have legalized it, the crime rate has gone down?
Bro, that's the thing. It's so new that the studies and the polls and the statistics, the aftermath of the effects of this cause, it's just pouring in. And as it continues pouring in, it's look. Did you see in Queens the House leader lost? He had the seat for 10 years. Okay, so this white guy in Queens had the House for 10 years. He had it. And a 20-year-old Latina beat him.
28-year-old?
28-year-old Latina.
Puerto Rican?
Puerto Rican.
That just today? That's the big one? That's the big one. What's her name?
Bro,
I forgot her name.
It's so funny because Fox, she has like the typical, we have like 40 last names. Mm-hmm. So you can see the newscasters.
She's from the Bronx. I know the girl you're talking about. She's from the Bronx.
Just a year ago, she was a bartender. So now she has a seat at the House of Representatives.
I just hope that there's no bad.
What I'm saying by that is that
tapes of her doing anything or
listen, it's the next though, Trump tweeted, he was like, you see what happens, you should have been nicer to your president. This guy, I love this guy. He's so funny.
He said that about her?
About him. You would have won if you were nicer to your president, because that guy was criticizing Trump and his campaign.
She's about to, I guarantee she run for president. Yo, I'll vote for her just because she's Puerto Rican and Latina. I'll vote for her straight up. Just like everyone said, yo, Barack Obama's black, and I'm gonna vote for him. I'm voting for her because she's Puerto Rican and she's a female and she's only 28.
Dude, she's
kind of pretty too. I saw the picture.
This is the.
She's really.
You saw her face when she saw she won. Yo, she won by double digits, bro. It wasn't even
a domination. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Latinos and Latinas are coming out. We are coming back with
force.
You think so?
We're
I
coming
think
back
we
with
need to
force.
go back to Puerto Rico and take care of our island. That's another episode though.
I think that Puerto Rico legalization of marijuana. I think Puerto Rico will benefit a lot for it.
Absolutely.
okay.
We went through that. We had Steven
Legalization.
here, and we went through a 3-hour. I was so thank God the cameras didn't work, because at the end of that episode, I was so tired. It looked like I was high. It looked like I was just like I didn't have any other questions.
You know, I
just
still
like,
haven't finished that episode yet.
the Puerto Rican episode. We did.
Finished.
No, it's so long.
No, it's not that
so
long.
long.
It's just I have. So I'm a big wrestling fan. So I like.
Oh, you got yours.
So wrestling podcast comes out and everything
So
like
I
that.
gotta be first. Gotta stay up to
that
2.
jumps off.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
So,
13 reasons why.
season 3 is coming out, and I can't wait. Maybe I'll watch it with you.
Or we'll watch it like
together?
You watch it with your wife. Just let me know what episode.
She doesn't
you're up
watch. She can't watch it.
to. What?
She doesn't watch it.
Why?
She watched after the first season. She said, "So we have a little girl." So like I think for her is like it brings up too many thoughts.
Of what? But see,
It brings
I'm
up too
sorry.
many thoughts.
I love your wife. I love you. But that mentality,
No, not being a blind eye to it. Like
the issue, or
but the fact that I think the suicide scene was extreme for her.
yeah, but season 2 ain't got nothing.
But so that's what I told her after I watched it, because again,
Right.
like we had the mentality like, yo, season 2 was bad. Season
was-
2 is good. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I was
no.
like, season 2 wasn't that extreme.
No.
And I think that's why people were so upset. I don't know what. That's the thing. People want that extremeness, and then when they didn't see it, they're like, oh, season 2 sucked. It's like it wasn't meant for that. Season 2 wasn't meant for that. Season 2 was meant to coping with how to cope with this situation, how to get
and how
fight through it, and how to how it affected multiple people, and how can we help these people get through this.
Right. So
It came less about suicide and more about rape.
The effects, the causes,
more
the
about
effects of
rape
it.
and the cause of that situation. So
I mean, I would encourage her to watch it, because
no, yeah, I'm trying to. She's off of
Yeah,
work
we could
now
definitely
for the
watch
summer,
it together, bro.
but
The season 3, and obviously they got to touch into this whole mass shooting. I would challenge people to watch this
with an open mind.
with an open mind, analyze what the writers are saying in the effects of this one action, and how it's a ripple as you throw a rock into the pond. See how it really impacted the entire community.
No, yeah, and I love that. I don't remember the first season because I didn't go back to watch the first season before the second season. But I love the fact that what the first season did in the sense of the social awareness that it caused, in the sense of like, listen, if you're going through this is what you should do. There's people out there that will help you. After every episode, they give you a website like this is.
I heard that the reason why they did that was because someone killed himself.
Because people were killing themselves
For season 1?
after season 1. People did that.
Because of the series.
Well, let's be honest. I read something that said
Is that fact?
every
Like, there are other names that, this person did it because of the show. Is that a real thing?
I wanted to listen. There's people that were doing this high pod challenge. Of course, there were people that was like, "There's no way out. I'm doing this."
I'm sorry that I'm laughing because I was just
It's the
thinking
truth,
about
but
something else.
it's the truth though. Like
A
people.
prior episode. Then Noel says, that with this episode's brought to you by Tide Pods. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
If that's such a Noel thing to say.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just like, bro, we don't have viewers.
But the thing is that, going back to creating these things, people, I'm pretty sure there are, but I'm also well aware that it also saved a lot of people's lives.
Season 2, I think.
Season 1, and the awareness it brought up,
You know, I remember having discussions with with kids that watch this, you know, in youth, in church, discussing it and everything like that. You know, heard stories of other people saying that there is another way out. You know, and there's different ways to do this. You know, and it was something that wasn't discussed. Suicide suicide and rape wasn't discussed in
our timeline. I don't think it's really,
it wasn't, you know. So I love that it's a discussion now, because there's a lot of people that were affected that way. And
and I don't think it's just an epidemic in our young young ones, but it's obvious that it's an epidemic in the more mature
think about
part
it.
of society.
How many people kill themselves within every minute of every day? You know, it's a discussion that it's being opened up.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
And that's all. It's an open dialogue.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. We're going on 2 hours.
that's crazy. My wife is gonna kill me.
Yeah, so I wanna leave it out there for you guys. If you haven't seen, I would like Eddie said, with an open mind, with someone else, open up the dialogue within your family, friends. Bring out the conversation. The more we talk about it, the more we're addressing it, and it's really up to each and every one of us to really take ownership on what we could do. This idea of see something, say something. You know, it applies everywhere in your life. And if you hear something or see something that you can be a voice and at least just to listen, that's the biggest thing for most people. I believe that the biggest disease that's occurring these days is loneliness. This idea that we only have these plastic devices with screen to communicate how we feel. We've lost contact from that human touch that we used to have for one another. And I think that until we can really go back to the genuine conversation and dialogue, we're also emphasizing and showing empathy and care, genuine care. When you really care for someone, in my opinion, it's not just sending a like or a quick text message. It's generally spending time with other people. I think we forgot how to spend time with each other, and with that, you know, the only escape, unfortunately, because the lack of education, is to end it all. There's so much more reasons to stay alive. So I just challenge everyone to meet that, and that's what it is. Check out the show. Let us know what you think. The poll is still out. I know there's only a grand total of 6 people that voted. Let us know what you think. That's a lot of people for this show.
If anybody wants to discuss it, why it shouldn't be,
I'm
more than willing to discuss why it should be.
And rate the next poll. If you're in New Yorker, what do you think about the legalization of marijuana? And we'll try to get a female.
If it gets legal, it's gonna smell like weed. It's gonna be. You think it's bad now?
Well, I even if it becomes legal, I would only be interested in the CBD, which is really you could only get
different types of marijuana.
No. So this is actually it's the portion. It's a part of the marijuana that you don't get the psychotropic effects. It's the healing part. It's for the pain part. I have back problems and whatever. I would be interested in the CBD part. But the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, I really didn't look this up. I have a commercial driver's license. So when you have that, you lose it. Right? I think I gotta look it up. So to me, it's like that's part of my livelihood. So do I continue living on with pain? Because I refuse to take pain medications because the effects of the pain meds for arthritis, for example, is just damaging. So it's like, do I, it outweighs the benefit.
Yeah.
So I'm left with, do I lose a potential livelihood, something I work towards, or do I get healing if it becomes legal? But it's open for debate. Let us know what you think. Eddie, obviously we're gonna have you on again. When season 3 is coming out?
Next year, 2019.
So he'll definitely be back at least in 29. But you'll be back before things.
Listen, when there's this second guest that comes in for the second time, I gotta be 2 up above them. I
forgot.
That's
Oh.
that's you.
I don't know what that was, but
That's the cue.
that's the cue. Yo, the basement. Bass.
Peace.